Hello everyone, just a quick video on some of the different training methods available for use within your training program and within training in general. The one that you're looking at now is aerobic training or continuous training, I should say. It involves an athlete or a performer doing the same thing over and over for a continuous period of time and working within the aerobic training zone of around about 70% or above of their heart rate. If you get too high, then you're actually not going to be improving aerobic capacity. You'll be trying to improve anaerobic capacity more so. So it's important that you stay within that aerobic training zone to get aerobic capacity improvements. The good thing about continuous training is that it doesn't just have to be running, it can be riding or swimming, and it can be done pretty much with limited equipment because it's just you and your body competing the same action over and over and over again. If you're interested in doing another training method, then fartlek training could be an example. Now, fartlek is essentially continuous training, but it has changes in pace. So a good way to do that is by having some sort of hill sprints in there, because when you hit a hill, your pace tends to change and the intensity tends to go up. So that's what fartlek training is all about. It's about allowing your body, not allowing your body to get into that that state or steady state, because it's constantly changing the pace and the intensity at which you work at, which starts to introduce some anaerobic benefits as well. So really good for team sports where you're not really at the same pace for the entire time. You start and then you stop, you have a big sprint, then you slow down, and it's always changing, and fartlek is a really good way to replicate that. We've got resistance training as one of the classic types of training, all about developing muscle mass, and obviously at a lower weight it's about developing power and speed. And because the larger your muscle, the more force you can produce, and therefore the greater power and speed you have. So resistance training is a really classic example of training that can be done in a gym, and it can also be done with just your own body weight. Lots of stuff going in in your own house without equipment that really can improve performance in terms of your local muscular endurance and your strength and so on. Plyometrics is a fantastic exercise training program, and it involves rapid eccentric contractions followed by concentric contractions that are all about explosive power and building up this explosive speed that can be translated into increased muscular power, increased speed, and so on. So this particular activity here is just simply hopping over or onto those little ledges there, and it's all about increasing the muscle size and the eccentric contractions that happen. And there's a lot of benefits that come out of these. However, the disadvantage is that they do take a big toll on the body, so you can't do it as often as you would other training methods. Core training is quite important, and it obviously seeks to improve the core of the body, and it can be done through Swiss ball activities and other sorts of static local muscular endurance type exercises. And it is really important to have a powerful core, not just for improvements in performance, but also for consideration of injury. Circuit training is a really popular training method, and it involves basically stations or circuits, as you can see, and you rotate between stations, and each station sort of replicates a different activity that focuses on a different fitness component. They don't have to involve gym equipment like you can see here. Like the best circuits and the easiest circuits are ones that have you utilizing your own body. Certainly really good for tailoring multiple fitness components. The next one is interval training, and interval training involves an athlete performing at a high intensity over a short period of time and repeatedly doing that followed by rest. And that's really good for activities that have a high work to rest ratio. So they might work for 10 seconds and then have 30 seconds rest, and they're always working at high intensity, which is something that you would get in short interval training or any sort of interval training. And the final method is flexibility. Really important, something that is often forgot about, but it does have a lot of benefits to improving not only your performance by improving your range of motion, but also gives you less chance of actually succumbing to injury. So there's a variety of training methods that you'll include within your 6-week program. Using a variety of them is best to ensure that your program is as good as it can possibly be.